Have you ever created a comic zine? Well, get ready because today we're going to do just that. And the only thing is there's a catch. I have to create a comic book zine with just a 3-word prompt. So let's see how this is going to come out. It's going to be interesting. Now, if you don't know what zines are, they're basically kind of like a mini magazine. But they're not exactly a magazine. They're small publications that anybody can create just in their own home in a DIY fashion, and they can express all kinds of cool things about themselves or experiences they've gone through, things they're really into, like movies, TV, and really just about anything. If you have like some kind of a social thing you want to talk about, or certain views, it's really up to you what you want to do. So it's a really cool way to just express yourself and share it with the zine community. And you can trade zines back and forth and all kinds of things like that. And lucky for someone like me, a lot of people also do zines that are also comics, or they'll include comics in their zines. And so it gives me the chance to explore comics, but also explore other avenues of putting words and pictures together. And I think it's really cool. But today we're going to see if we can create a comic zine based off of these 3-word prompts. So currently, a friend of mine, Dede Willingham, is doing a zine swap on her channel, and she has made a list of 18 prompts that we can choose from. And as I'm recording this, they're doing this, but it may, once you see this, it's probably going to be over. But I still wanted to kind of document the process here. And so I'm going to randomly choose 3 prompts from that list. The only thing is I took a couple off that I knew I didn't want to do, but for the most part, it's about, I think it's like 16 words or something that I've chosen. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Let's get to it. So here I went to Google's random number generator and I put 1 through 12 because that's the min max that I got here. And we're just choosing the 3 ones, and it looks like here they are: lawn chair, jewel, and pink. That's the words I have to do. And if you're sharp, when you watch this whole process I go through, you'll see I used one of the other prompts actually very heavily, but I didn't do it on purpose. It's kind of an accident. So as you're seeing there, I kind of folded up the paper. If you don't know, this is how you can make a cool mini zine. You can just use one sheet of paper and you kind of fold it like a hot dog, then you flip it and fold the ends. There's a whole way to do it. You can see in some of my other videos, I've shown exactly how to do that. But right now, I kind of numbered the pages, so I knew which, what was the cover, what was the back cover, what the number of the pages are going to be, so I can kind of create it in a sequence. And again, all I'm really doing is just taking those 3 prompts and kind of coming up with an idea. And I just kind of had this thought of like a guy, like a miner in a coal mine, and it's the zine is called Quittin' Time. So this is what this coal miner does after it's time to go be done with work. Everybody else goes out of the coal mine, and for some reason he's digging deeper into the coal mine because he's in the environment of something that he loves. He might not be doing exactly what he loves at all times, but it affords him the opportunity to kind of have these times alone where he can enjoy something else. So yeah, I don't know. It's not a very deep concept, except for it is kind of deep because he's going through a coal mine, but he's going deep into the caves. But yeah, you'll see how it turns out. So if it wasn't clear, obviously right now I'm doing the pencils. It's very rough pencils. When I'm approaching this, I'm not thinking, okay, I'm creating the most amazing comic in the world. I'm doing my opus, the thing I'll be known for, the rest of my life. Not to downplay it, but I'm just having fun. I'm having fun with the comic book medium, and in a small format, it's a fun way to experiment. It doesn't cost too much time. It doesn't cost too much effort. It definitely costs some effort and time, but it's a worthwhile thing. I think that it gives us people who want to make comics, it gives us a chance to experiment and play around. And you'll see I use a few different techniques that I don't normally use in comics and that people don't normally use in comics. So I really love this opportunity to do this. And you can see me flipping through it right now. This is what it looks like, the pencils, and it's time to get to kind of the embellishments, the inking. So this right here, I am like super excited about. I've been wanting to do some stuff with these envelope patterns that you get. Like you just get like this junk mail, in the mail, and it's like, I love the idea of like screen tones and using that kind of thing, like the classic technique that comics use. And I just noticed one day like that these envelopes have all kinds of different interesting patterns, and so now I have kind of this weird collection of different inside envelope patterns because I'm not going to use them. So it's just like really kind of fun, and I'm like, okay, I got to use this. Like, I mean, if they're going to give me this stuff, I might as well use it for something good instead of like wasting it and throwing it away, recycling it or whatever. So here it is. Like, for the first time, I'm actually doing something I've wanted to do for a very long time, which is use these envelopes as, screen tones. And I can't wait to experiment some more with them. So these are the type of things that you can, find like while you're doing something like this. Again, it doesn't cost the same amount of time and sweat and blood, sweat, and tears that, say, doing a graphic novel does. So you can play around. You can use a Sharpie like I'm using right here to put out some black ink in there and stuff. You can do all kinds of different things. Use different mediums. You'll see later. Actually, here I am right here using charcoal. I've never used charcoal in a comic book before, but I've always wanted to. So in this is my chance, to play around with it, and maybe I'll have found an interesting technique that I've used in one of these mini comics, like these two techniques. And when I do get to the time of doing, a big graphic novel or something, I can be like, oh man, I created an interesting mood or some interesting texture. Oh, this really worked good for like rocks and stuff, or this really worked good for this kind of emotion. Let's see if we can kind of expand upon that and use charcoal next time. Or use these envelopes next time to get the certain kind of effect we're looking for. And this one's kind of cool because this pattern actually is like almost like watery waves and stuff. And in the drawing, there is like a little lake or a little pool down below where the guy's looking out. So it kind of was a fun, goofy little cheesy thing to do, but I like it. And this panel was really fun too, where I'm basically creating, like, showing him going through the first steps, and it's like a little tunnel and stuff, going down deeper and deeper into the cave. Here we have the first panel, actually. I'm not really doing these in sequential order. For whatever reason, this is just the next panel I'm drawing, but this is the part where I was actually going to have some words, but I decided to actually make this a silent comic. Hopefully it gets across to people, but I mean, I think just the title alone helps people understand. But there's the guy. He's holding his lawn chair. Like, why is he holding a lawn chair? Everybody else is leaving, the job. It's like it's quitting time. Like, we're gonna go out to the bar, or we're gonna go to our family and do whatever. Like, we're gonna we're glad to get out of this dark, dismal, workplace, and we got to get out of here. But he's got his lawn chair, and he's going somewhere else. He's going deeper in. So I don't know. It just was kind of the idea that came to me. It's not, again, super. It doesn't have a lot of meaning necessarily, but I think there is some interesting meaning to it. Like, what people enjoy and what brings people happiness. You got to kind of pay attention to that. Like, what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. Don't, just because everybody else is doing one thing to be happy, doesn't mean that that's what you have to do to be happy. Like, find what makes you happy and go and do that, and enjoy that. For me, like, people might think it's kind of crazy that, like I've had in the past, where I would tell people about like my comic book projects or my music projects and stuff like that I do in my off time, and everybody else is just going to watch the game or something or do whatever, and they kind of think, oh, like I'm working hard, like I'm actually working when I'm not in work. And it's like, yeah, but that's what gives me joy. And I remember, like, one of my bosses commenting one time and saying, oh, well, I don't have any projects like you, like, so like, well, get some. Like, what is your joy in life? Like, why are you just gonna like, do the basic thing, or are you gonna like find something that really makes you happy and spend time doing that, and if, digging down into a cave and finding some interesting stuff and exploring is your thing, well, as long as it's safe, and as long as you're not breaking any rules and stuff, like, have at it, have fun, go do your thing. For me, I like to sit down and make some comics, or make some art, make YouTube videos and stuff. It is work, it takes time, but it's worth it, and I really enjoy it. So yeah. One thing that's like really interesting as I was doing this is, and this is the chance where you get to learn something about your craft, is like I had a chance with the charcoal and with kind of the lamp on his head and everything to really play around with different ways of conveying light in a dark space, light in a dark area. And that, and just the difference between the light and the dark, and kind of how to make like the images, like the figure pop out in certain places, and it's just a different environment. Like now, because of doing this little silly experiment, I have a few new kind of techniques under my belt that I've never tried before, and it's really cool. And even if you have tried a particular technique, it's always good to have some extra practice and stuff, right? So yeah, I see this as a very valuable exercise. So we obviously got the lawn chair part, and we even got the bonus prompt that I accidentally kind of stumbled upon and used. So in some ways, maybe am I cheating? I'm using 4 prompts, but I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. But where's the jewel? Where's the pink? Well, it's probably pretty obvious that I'm drawing jewels right here. And another thing that I thought was cool is I made the front cover is actually the end of the book. The front cover and the back cover fold out to show you the end of the book. And I don't know, it's a weird way of doing a comic or whatever. Like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to use it quite like that in that same way. But in this instance, it worked out pretty cool. Like, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what's going on with it. And yeah. Another thing that's cool with the charcoal and all this is it's cool to like go in and carve out, like you go in, make stuff dark, then you go in and with a white pen or something or eraser and you carve stuff out. So you're constantly kind of going back and forth like a sculpture, adding and subtracting. And that's a really fun way to create depth. And here is the pink. And this, this is the only part I did digitally. Was this pink part, and with the jewels. So there's your jewels, there's your pink, and I had fun making like the reflections and stuff, and I think it came out pretty cool. Let me know in the comments if, for one, if you've ever made a zine yourself, and how it came out. Did you enjoy the process? And also, what did you think of this comic? And if you've never made a comic book zine before, you may be very interested to find out that there is this thing called the 1 hour comic book challenge, which I created, where I make a zine just like this in 1 hour. And if you want to try that challenge out yourself, check out this video right here. See if I failed, if I succeeded. There's actually kind of a series of videos, so check that out. You might dig it. And yeah, and I hope you played along with me today and started maybe your own zine. I'd love to hear that you did. Anyways, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you on the next video.